Okay, hi everybody. This is Frank, and we're down to the finals of DSCL Invitational 2015. It is a best of 7 between Liquid Red and ATgaming's uThermal. They're right here to do the map vetoes, or actually no vetoes, because there's a 7 map pool, and there's potentially 7 games in this series. So we're just going to do the map picks. A final reminder for all of you: if you go to our Twitter account, it's twitter.com/DSCLeague. There's one tweet at the top that says retweet this, and you can win a HyperX SSD Fury hard disk drive. And actually, that's not a lie; that's the truth. So go on Twitter, retweet that, and you just may win a HyperX Fury SSD. And it's time now for the map picks. The players will be picking maps. Martin, what is going to be the order for the players?
Mark will pick first, and then Jos 2, and then Mark 2, etc. Until we're done.
All right, awesome. Okay, let's try and do some serious commentating here. So, all right, uThermal picking one map. Will be the first map of the series. Tough choice. Tough choice. Yeah, there's a. All right. Okay. Admin suggested Secret Spring. uThermal says, sure, let's do it. Okay, so Secret Spring. Get that out of the way. Red goes for Overgrowth, followed by Expedition Lost. And now it's up to uThermal to pick maps number 4 and 5. Number 4 is going to be Catalina, followed by, is it going to be Vanny, Deadwing, or Inferno? Inferno pools as map number 5. And finally, Red for the last 2 maps. Deadwing, map number 6, and if it comes to map number 7, that will be Vanny Research Station. All right, we're going to the casters, which are once again Jona and Wyman. Jona and Wyman, of course, TVZ specialists, and we're going to see a TVZ best of 7. Good luck, have fun. Everybody retweet your stuff, tell your friends to tune in. This is the finals of the DSCL Invitational of 2015. Good luck and have fun. Back to the casters.
All right, thank you. We are here indeed at the finals of the DSCL Invitational 2015. Maybe the first, maybe not. We will see later this year. But so far we've had some really great matches, and we're up for a best of 7 finals between uThermal and Red.
I really hope it can live up to the semifinals, the games in the semifinals. Outside of the Optimus uThermal series, which was obviously a bit one-sided, the Harsum Red series was so close, and I really hope that the excitement can carry over into this series. It would be very sad if one of the players just bops the other one.
Yeah, it's I'm really not sure. Like I think both players, they kind of fit into each other's respective styles. Like we saw in the earlier series that uThermal first series he played against Red, he kind of got wrecked, like pretty bad.
Yeah, but I think that series uThermal is still like really hangover, and this series he's had a good night's rest, and he's had less to drink. I mean, nothing to drink. And he should be in better shape, I think. I hope.
Well, like I mentioned, his favorite style, I feel, is definitely macro-oriented, and the same goes for Red. So this might be a very long best of 7 for all we know, with lots of back and forth and exciting series.
Long turtle mech games and swarm. No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think at some point uThermal will be pulling out the 2 racks. Like, I honestly don't see him not doing it in a best of 7.
And I don't see Red holding it either.
Yeah, if he keeps going 3 hash for full pool every game, then absolutely.
I don't think he can against Terran, but yeah, if he plays greedy again, he is gonna have a tough time.
Yeah, so as you could see, the first map will be Secret Spring. They just want to get it out of the way. And well, it looks like everyone's just about ready to get into the game. So game number 1, here we go. Right, guys? Thanks. You know, Jona, I don't think I've ever been to an esports tournament, and at finals we played at 3:30 in the afternoon.
I don't think I've been to an esports tournament where anything's been on time.
Yeah, like, well, this is too early almost.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into the game. We have in the bottom left of Secret Spring, we have the red Zerg from TeamLiquid. He is red.
In the top right corner, the blue player from AT Gaming, it's uThermal!
So yeah, Secret Spring is that one map that everyone likes to veto, so they decide to just get rid of it the very first game of the series. I guess that makes sense from a psychological point of view, because if you lose it, you can be like, well, I technically still could have 6 more games in front of me.
I think Mark picked it as first map though. Like, I don't think Red deliberately chose this map to get it out of the way. I think even though it's a smart thing to do if you just want to get one map out of the way, I think you never want to play a map you lose. Just period. If you have Secret Spring for, let's say, as the 5th map, if you 4-0, you might never have to lose that game, and that game, or losing that game, can turn around the series, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's not like he's gonna go like CC first on the gold base or something. That would have been interesting, but it would probably have been spotted.
Oh, there's a gold base on this map.
Yeah, there's 2.
Sorry, I never play this map. This map is like, honestly, just really, really bad. I don't want to. It's interesting, and there are some features about it that I like, but it's just very bad for me as a player personally.
I see. Well, we got the SV scout coming out of uThermal. We'll probably be following this up with the Reaper into an expansion. It's going to be doing some harassing, really anticipating the late pull from Red. I'm not quite sure what the timing of his pull was, but it looks kind of like a 16 pull to me. The one question is, will he be getting a third hatch without even bothering the scout? It seems rather difficult because the third base is just really rough to defend.
Yeah, and he still hasn't taken gas yet, so something like a gasless play into like a roach timing seems very likely at this point. The 11 Orcs Reaper is already getting started, but I'm kind of doubtful of that bunker placement. I think bunker placements behind the main mineral line are way more powerful.
Wow, that's one cheeky bunker he's got going for him there. Of course, it's going to take a while. The hatchery will pop. He will see it. Now he's going to start a queen. The bunker will finish at this time, and the second Reaper is also underway. He's now going to start harassing some of these drones. One of them already fleeing to the other corner. Mark not really focusing fire on this, on these Reapers, knowing that the queen could pop anytime, as well as circlings. Now he's going to have to start kiting. He's just going to start kiting his ass off. Meanwhile, also. Keeping an eye on the production at home. In fact, he still hasn't started a second command. Okay, he's going to start it now.
Second command center? Ah, right, right, natural. Yeah, he won the 11 Orc Reaper, so it's always going to be a bit delayed, especially when you add the bunker. But I don't think he was ever planning on going all in with this. The bunker is very annoying with Red, but if he keeps his head calm and doesn't overcommit his units to it too quickly,
put DSCL in the bunker. Put DSCL in the No, come on. Okay, so he doesn't put DSCL.
He needs to micro away that queen because the Reapers are going to pop out and then
he should focus it.
Yeah, he's going to hunt it. And losing that queen is really big.
Oh,
That's
might even lose the drone. It's not being microed.
And another drone goes down.
Yeah, and there's no speed, so these Reapers will be able to kite, quite well. Go down the ramp as well. He might pull a couple of drones, but
this is starting to be too much damage.
Yeah, and now there's a third Reaper even going to down on the rest of the drones. There's only one queen, and keep in mind this queen cannot effectively go up on the high ground. Wow, so much damage already here being done by uThermal.
Yeah, Mark's Reaper control has just been really good, and it always has been. And Red just didn't cleanly deal with it. He didn't split his units correctly. He engaged the bunker slightly too quickly, and it just snowballed for him.
Yeah, 3 Reapers now up on the high ground. There's 2 queens coming up with another one already in position.
Oh, he needs to be careful. He can't lose that Reaper.
Oh, he didn't focus fire the Reaper, I think, which could have been, a killing blow to at least the one with red HP. Jumps up yet again. Wants to really watch out for these queens. He actually cancels the tumor, anticipating uThermal to snipe it. At this point, he seems to have defended this, quite well. With no more impeding threat. But oh, look at this! He's grabbing a very early lair, so this might be a roach push.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it. It could be Muta as well, but I feel like going gasless into Muta is just kind of awkward because you don't have link speed, and there's a few things I dislike about it, but it's still viable. But he's getting an Evo chamber, which also makes me think more about roaches. But then again, where's the roach horn, There it goes.
Okay, there it goes.
Let's talk a bit about Mark's build.
Yeah, like he added on Starport and he put on, exactly, a Tech Lab, and now he's making a Banshee. And Banshees, like we discussed this yesterday a bit, if he just keeps making Banshees, he should be in pretty good shape against a roach push. Yeah. He's got 3 CCs.
For sure.
He should see this coming with this early push, in fact.
I really
the
have
Hellions.
a lot of trouble against 11 Rex Reaper into Banshee into 3cc.
Nice
Because you
control.
get battered down by pressure over and over again, and at the point where you've defended, you're oftentimes behind because they've been very greedy behind it.
This should be such a a heads up for uThermal. He sees there's no third, he sees there's no link speed, he sees there's gas being mined. It has to go somewhere. Of course, there's a lair which can either be Muta or in this case a Roach Bush, which is a lot more viable off of 2 base.
Yeah, he did do a lot of damage with his Reaper, so it's expected that Red has trouble taking a third regardless of what his tech is going, but I do think you're absolutely right, and he should have a good idea of what's going on.
First Banshee is underway. He's now getting Stim and adding on 2 more barracks, finally, and he's adding on a Viking. So it's just going to be a single Banshee. He actually busts his way up the ramp, kills a Queen, and spots the Roaches. So he kind of knows what's up, and this Banshee already being on this side on the map kind of nullifies the whole attack, and Red is going to have to go, he's going to grab some tech, and he's going to have to secure the third eventually, but this Banshee, wow, is really raining down hell on Red's Roaches.
Yeah, it is not looking good for Red at all. He still hasn't even started his third base. The drone is going down right now, but it still hasn't like started building. And
He's even
I
getting
don't
sloppy
feel like
with
there's
his
a good
overlords.
transition out of this for him. Like, he went Roach speed and he only got Carapace. He should probably go into Lingbei Muta after this, but that's so tough off of such a low economy.
Yeah, and keep in mind, uThermal actually made a Viking and also has already managed to kill 2 Overlords. There's another one in position. I'm not sure if this Viking, this Viking is actually waypointed. It's just gonna miss it, so that's unfortunate for him. His second Banshee actually, or his Banshee actually found third hatch, and there's just no way absolutely for
And the creep
Red to
isn't
save this.
extended far enough.
Yeah.
I think the Queens might be too slow. Well, the hatchery does have a lot of HP. He should be
Yeah.
able to barely save it.
Like maybe if he parks it to the other side of the hatchery, but still, like he should transfuse his 50 energy, so he should have enough energy to transfuse in.
You can't transfuse buildings.
No,
but,
of course not. But
okay.
once it pops, yeah, this should be fine. But he's gonna take a lot of
Yeah,
damage
it's gonna
on
be
it.
a low HP hatchery, and that's very annoying.
uThermal needs to watch his Banshee. He's not microing it. He's gonna lose it for sure.
Yeah, he's gonna lose it. It's a
That's a bit of a shame. He didn't
That's a
have
bit of a
cloak,
shame
but it
for
wouldn't
sure.
have mattered since there's an overseer.
Yeah, I really don't know why uThermal tends to skip cloak so often. We
Oh
saw
my
this
God.
in the first series.
He's
as well.
taking the gold. I like that. Like he's just capitalizing even
there's
further
a gold
on his
base.
adventure.
Okay.
I wonder if Red's gonna even spot this in the first place. Oh, looks like he's gonna lose at least 1 Reaper.
Yeah, I think at this point the Reapers are pretty worthless. The Hellions are still pretty decent against shredding links, but the Reapers serve very little purpose. So trying to get the Reaper in here and there to try and find out some information can be very powerful.
uThermal's economy is okay, but he's going to be very reliant on his gold base. Like his other base is currently got an Overlord, above it. His upgrades are in good shape, and he's got decent production going on right now. But even though Red isn't in the ideal position, he does have a nice unit count, and he's been re-establishing a lot of map control, getting a lot of creep. His drone count is in healthy state, and he's finally getting Muta. So I feel like Red is definitely getting back into it.
Yeah, Red has a decent economy actually, and the supplies are not that different. He is in a bit of a tough spot where most of his supplies are roaches though. Army supplies roaches.
Yeah, first drop here by uThermal picks off an Overlord, of course. Gonna pick off a second one as well. Nice pickups like that are always nice. Doesn't have combat shield though, so he probably won't commit to any sort of fight. Maybe wanted to try to pick off a few Bailings, but it's not gonna happen. Red is definitely trying to catch up. It's got 2+2+2 on the way. He's grabbing a 4th base. uThermal really hasn't saturated his 3rd base at all, so his economy is definitely not as good as Red's. I'm not quite sure what his game plan is at this point, but he's doing a nice job of sniping Overlords everywhere.
Yeah, I was actually not right. He only has 3 roaches, so it's not that big of a deal that the supply is even. I do feel like it's still a pretty good position for Mark, just considering this map. But Red is still in it, and his upgrades are not behind of Mark. They're actually both ahead.
Yeah. So I'm wondering what kind of went wrong on Mark's plan. Like he, of course, he got a nice unit composition going with Banshees, but he was just quite late, and finally starting +2 immediately afterwards. But we have a very dangerous push looking actually coming up from uThermal. Down here at the bottom of the ramp, they are breaking down the rocks. Immediately a drop on the left side will get cleaned up by Red. Maybe the matter of fact managed to boost away. No, it loses all of the Marines inside. But this does clear the way for Red, for uThermal to push on the right side towards the 3rd.
I'm not sure if this is a premature push. He doesn't have that big of an
Yes, a
army,
siege
and
tank
Red
in nice
is
position.
macroing well.
Good pre-split as well with the Hellbats and the Marines. Will he commit to this attack? I'm not sure. Red is morphing in 12 more Banelings. Tries to snipe some units, but takes a lot of damage from the Marines.
Red
this is
doesn't
really
have that many banelings. If a good tank shot hits, I definitely feel this could go the uThermal's way. But here we go.
Oh, big parade also coming in. Nice splits here with the Marines, but the Mutalisk count seemed to be just a little bit too high. Marauders now coming in with a lot of Marauders and Marines now, and only one medevac means this attack doesn't really have all that much, power behind it. I think he really needs more medevacs, but that was a good trade for uThermal.
And there's no creep spread left at the bottom side for Red. uThermal can keep pressuring there and keep splitting well off of creep and take good trades. This is so hard for Red to deal with. He is going to have a bit of an upgrade lead once his +2 attack finishes, and he might use that timing to clear up uThermal's army.
Mulis discovered a goal, but good reaction there by uThermal. Repairs the turrets, and he kind of thwarts this attack. He loses a couple of SCVs though, which is not something you want to have at a gold base. He really wants to keep up the economy. His Marine count is really going through the roof though. He's been producing a lot of units here. His reinforcements should be able to deal with Mutas with impunity. So I think starting another push here would be a really good move, but he's losing his reinforcements now.
I'm really missing Drilling Claws. I'm missing Thors. I want to have him start 3-3 because he did skip it one of the games. I do feel like it's good in a really good spot for uThermal just because the Baneling count isn't that high, or at least it wasn't when I last checked. He has 25, that's reasonable, but it's not a huge Baneling count. And his army is quite well equipped to deal with
he's
it.
pushing, stimming up the ramp. Burrowed a couple of wind binds. Some of them are baning a lot of hits. The Marauders doing a good job of tanking. Now they are destroying Banelings as they are moving in. Good position here for uThermal. Red almost crashes down the ramp, but this trade is really not good for him. The Mutas are still in the back trying to find a good angle, but there's too many Marines.
And uThermal is pre-split so far back that it's very difficult for Red to find a good engagement. If the Marines stim in from the back, a lot of Banelings did connect. I think uThermal has to turn around and a good sweep from Red, and he might be able to counterattack off of the back of this.
Yeah, and keep in mind that the gold base is just so close to the army of Red here that he might be able to get a good hit off. But no, the reinforcements from uThermal are enough to hold back Red, who is right now in a pretty decent position. He's got 2-2 upgrades, he's got 4 bases. And this gold base, it won't last all that long. They mine out pretty quickly. So I really feel uThermal really needs to work on both his composition, but also his economy.
And he needs to start 3-3. I don't understand how many games this has happened. I think it's happened one time in the series against Dimmer, and also one time against the first series of him against Red. And once again he forgets 3-3, and it's the power play. Like you're even, and then 3-3 hits and bam, you shove through. I just don't understand why he keeps skipping or delaying it for so long.
uThermal once again taking position down the ramp. Does a nice splitter and takes out a few Banelings. Meanwhile, his drop on the left gets cleared out by the Mutalisk, meaning he has some room to breathe and attack here on the left side. However, I'm not quite sure if his army is large enough to fight this. The Marauders with Concussive Shell even taking out a lot of these Banelings. Quite a nice move. And now he finally has the force, so the Mutas can't go in as much as they want to. The fight finally starts, and the Mutas get on top of the floor to pick up Micro. And I don't like this fight for Red at all indeed. The 4 doing a lot of damage to the Mutas. But are there enough Marines here? I don't think so. The Banelings go off creep, and the splitting from uThermal is excellent, but is it enough?
Excellent splits, and just the positioning was so well done, and Red had just attacked down into it head on, and it didn't work. If the reinforcements stream across the map, I'm worried for Red if he can hold.
And the gold base really doing work here for uThermal. Still, however, I don't still see any sort of third command center on the way. He even has a ton of stacked up energy on his command center. Now the Marines are fighting against the Mutas. Are they taking him out? Yes, they are. GG! So even despite is maybe a bit sloppy play from uThermal, he manages to pull through because I feel Red made just a bit too many mistakes in that game.
Well, I don't feel like uThermal played necessarily sloppy. I think mechanically and micromanagement and positioning, it's like a very clean game. It wasn't necessarily him being sloppy. It's more like the decision making not to start 3-3 is really weird to me.
Yeah.
And the decision to go Banshee but not get Cloak is also very weird to me. I feel like Banshees become a lot more powerful when they can sit out of Spore range and just pick off the gas drones.
Yeah.
And I know that he won Quick Lair and he has Overseer and Queens, but he can't keep running his Queens around all 3 of his bases. So you're just able to gain more value out of a Banshee when you do get Cloak, I feel at least.
Yeah, well, I agree. Of course, you have to kind of, like, Banshees are good, but once Mutas hit the field, they become worthless. So I can imagine that you don't want to over-invest in that tech. You're delaying your medevac count or delaying your stim or something along those lines. It's a rough choice.
Yeah, but I feel like seeing him make roaches, making an extra Banshee and Cloak is almost always worth it.
I guess.
But
Alright.
I mean, of course, like you gain a bit, you gain maybe a medevac extra or 2 medevacs extra. It's also a big deal, but I feel like you can gain the value
Yeah.
out of the Cloak Banshees.
Alright, well, game number 2 between Red and uThermal is about to start. Let's get into it. Alright, we are back again once again on Overgrowth. We have in the top right, currently down 0-1 in this best of 7. He is the Liquid player. He is Red.
In the bottom left corner, red and mad, it's uThermal!
So I imagine uThermal has to feel pretty good about that game, you know? He's currently in the finals of a pretty important tournament. Basically, whoever wins this tournament is pretty much the best player in the Netherlands at this moment, I would say.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that, except no,
Okay.
because I lost.
Alright.
But yes,
I
think
would
in
say that...
outside of that, for sure. I think every good player currently in the Netherlands was here.
Uh-huh.
Grubby hasn't been practicing, Shock hasn't been practicing. Those people are wouldn't change the results of the higher.
Yeah, but let's be honest here, the best player in the Netherlands wouldn't drink before an important tournament now, would he? Okay, so we got something else going up on here. It's the Proxy 2X 1111 from uThermal against the Hatch first from Red. When is Red gonna make his spawning pool? He's currently up to 16 supply.
Yeah, and
And
he's
I
not making an extra drone, so it is going to be a 16 pool, but that's late.
That's
and
very
this
late.
is a good 2x map.
Yeah.
He does have his second Overlord parked for his natural, and I think he'll try to pull like 7, 8-ish drones and push back the bunkers. But Mark is the type of player that's sort of bunkering pretty far away from the hatchery, and that can shift the tides very quickly. If Red overcommits with his drones and doesn't manage to actually shut it down, it becomes very difficult to
Oh,
hold.
he even gets a gas. That's not gonna be very useful.
I think
Yep,
that doesn't matter too much because
No?
he can still cancel it and it won't change too much. But you're right, it's not helping either.
Well,
Obviously.
first Marine is out, making his way across the map. The bunker starts and the Overlord spots it immediately. One drone being pulled right now will be... oh, it's actually not being controlled very well.
This is such an underreaction though. Like
Yeah.
that bunker is so early that must give it away a little bit.
Here's the first Marine though, in an interesting spot. No, okay, he's gonna move it to the high
4,
ground.
5, 6, 7.
That's a lot of drones. I think this may be an overcommittal from Red, but then again, you really don't want those bunkers to go up.
Yeah, but the
this one
bunker's
will
already
go
finished, so like what are the drones gonna do? He's not gonna kill the Marine before that finishes, and he's moving the drones down the ramp, which can be a good
Oh, he loses
idea if
one
you can
drone
catch
for
the
free.
reinforcements, but it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, and uThermal's not making this mistake of sending his Marines in one by one. He knows his opponent is really not, well, barely mining. 10 Zerglings now in production as well as a Queen, and he's getting a Spine in his natural.
He
So
needs to start bunkering closer to the hatch, so if that spine completes and the bunker is not complete, this becomes a very difficult situation.
yeah, and now the first Zerglings already coming down. I'm not seeing a whole lot of SCVs though, but nice counter micro here from uThermal. He cancels the bunker though, and this Spine is just about to finish, and is he gonna really focus it on? No. He takes a bit of damage, more Zerglings come
Spine
down.
is not in range yet. He has to uproot it, and this might be difficult for Red. A Queen does pop. This quite good. This looks quite good for the Zerg player.
Yeah, like I think he's gonna cancel this bunker for sure. Like the Spine finishes, he loses Zerglings, but really that's worth it if the Marines can't ever get past the Spine.
Wow, and what a hold. I didn't expect it. I think the biggest thing that turned this around was not having Mark start a bunker closer to the hatchery. That Spine managed to complete for free almost,
Yeah.
and that should never happen.
Wow, so the plan is, what is uThermal gonna do? Well, he was anticipating this it seems, and he's building a command center on the low ground. This could be dangerous, except yeah, Red did cancel his gas extractor. He's now building a new one, so he won't have Zergling speed for quite a long while. uThermal can set up a contain, but it won't really do that much. Like he might try to sneak past, but I think he will just get surrounded and die.
If the spine is in range, yes. If the spine is not in range, it might become difficult for Red. But I think if he pulls the drones, he'll be able to deal with it regardless.
Yeah.
But,
He's building another spine just to be safe, getting his screens at the front. Oh, is he going to commit to this? No, he needs to pull back. Tries to pick off a few Zerglings as well, but any exchange, from this point on will most likely be in Red's favor. Double gas being added on for uThermal, and he's going to kind of have to play from behind, I feel.
yeah, for sure. And I'm quite surprised by the results of this. Usually, going 16 pull is 2x become very difficult to hold, but I guess with the proper drone pulls, it works out.
Oh, he still only has 5 Marines left at the front. So this is actually going to be quite, this contain really isn't going to do much. Like, he moves back the spine crawler for a short bit, is now harassing on the screen a bit, trying to poke back and forth, back and forth. He's by now lifted both of the barracks, by the way, and they are moving back towards his main base, where he's also adding a factory so he can get some Hellions out. He's starting to fall behind on tech, though. He's, getting the factory is important, but it's not all, all encompassing. He's gonna lose his spine, though. It looks like. I'm not sure if that's really what he wants. Nice micro here from uThermal, but going back and forth.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this plays out. The economy for Red is quite good, and uThermal doesn't have very much tech, but it's definitely not over yet, because the third CC is coming up. And once you have the triple mule, we all know, like, you can catch up in economy pretty well. But this is definitely a tough spot for the Terran player, and he doesn't have defenses in his natural to deal with speedlings. And Red is about to make more links, and Speed is about to finish. Like, this could be very bad for uThermal, and we could see a very quick GG if the links just get into the natural.
Yeah, like, we don't see... Okay, he's gonna lift up his barracks, build a third and a fourth in order to defend. I'm not gonna... definitely not gonna be an all-in. He's actually adding double evolution chamber at this point in the game. Red is actually supply blocked. I don't think this is a point in the game where he wants to be supply blocked. He wants to drone up quite heavily. So he started 2 more overlords, but it's gonna be a while. So not a good position for Red currently. And Red is uThermal's being given a lot of space in order to set up his own economy and his own tech.
Being forced to add these many barracks again, even after the 2x, is always annoying, I feel, as a Terran player, because you kind of want to get your tech down, you want to have E-base, you want to have your medevacs, and now you're stuck making even more Marines. And what good are Marines really if you don't have a great economy? So this is not a good position for uThermal, and I'm really, really shocked by how the 2x played out. I was actually, like, inside my head very confident this would be a victory for uThermal, because I do feel like 2x is very strong on this map, and especially against a build like 16 pull after the hatchery.
He's only now going to be able to start his stim on his added on tech lab in the barracks in the main. He is going Cloak Banshee though, which will carry him over a bit for the mid game, especially against something like a Roach push. He would be very safe. But Red's economy is now pretty much growing uncontested, and that's really something you don't want to have. In order to catch up, I feel uThermal needs to, like, grab his third in an even greedier fashion. But then again, he also needs to be aware of any potential counterattacks from Red.
Yeah, Red is just playing standard. He's getting the upgrades, he's getting the lair, and it's just a very difficult situation for uThermal. The Cloak Banshee is nice because there is no lair yet, and I haven't seen Spore start yet. So it might catch him off guard enough to where the game evens out.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to grab his Spore. Cloak is not quite finished, so he can't use it. Spore starts immediately. Now he has Cloak, and he wants to start focusing down drones as much as possible.
I think he's gonna get 6, maybe 6 or 7.
He's doing a nice job. Red is forced to run both of his, all of his drones away for now. Focuses down one more, but he will have to depart quite soon. There is no lair, so Overseers won't be quite there. Hey, that rhymed. Man.
Oh, he might get 2 more. No, don't, no.
Oh, that's quite painful and unnecessary. There's another drone there, but he doesn't quite see it. Alright, so that was definitely worth it, I feel, for uThermal to get a Banshee out with 9 kills.
And it forces him to make Spore Crawlers. He needs to make the Overseer. It's generally, like, it's done good enough. And I feel like it's given Mark a bit more grip into the game.
Oh, he's actually going to take the third base in front of his, near the watchtower, which is usually a very aggressive way of positioning your third base, so you can actually reinforce in the same direction and both defend that base as well.
Yeah, he actually floated it to the other third first, but then turned it around to this one. I guess it had to do with the unit that was standing there, or I think there's a unit from... no, the Marine cleaned it up. I guess there was a link blocking the command center.
There were 2 Banshees in the main. One of them is currently chasing down the Queen, doing a bit of damage, but the other one got taken out quite quickly. I'm not sure why he's controlling it the way he is. He's going to take a lot of damage on it. Manages to kill a small handful of drones. Not quite sure if it was worth it though. Well, we
Well,
have to
any drones you can get are good, and he did save the Banshee.
Yeah.
The way I see it, so I think that was still good for him. Yeah.
All right. Well, he's finally managed to establish his third. He's dropped a couple of mules. He's building depots everywhere, and this is really where the parade push kind of
He
starts.
can't push without combat shield though. Like that's so risky.
And his medevac production.
I
is kinda
really feel
lacking.
like in a spot like this where you're playing a Zerg player where you're behind and you don't have combat shields, it becomes so difficult to deal with banelings.
Maybe he just wants to put the herd on red as much as possible. There's no baneling speed either, and
There's
these
no
link-
baneling speed yet, and we know how good uThermal splits are. This could turn out good if he splits godlike.
I'm not sure, man. Here we go. Baneling's now moving in onto the Hellbats. Not something you want to do. These screens are way up front, taking more damage
Oh,
perhaps than they
so
should.
many banelings on 1 or 2 Hellbats, and he's running in with banelings, going back and forth, and he just can't deal with the splits.
uThermal was trying to do some more damage with Hellbats at the left side of the 4th base, but yeah, somehow I'm not quite sure.
What's happening?
Oh, there's a counter attack in the natural of uThermal. A couple of SCVs
7
died there.
SCVs went down, so that's not that bad.
No, but certainly not.
It's very annoying, but it's not like the end of the world.
uThermal's doing quite well with his upgrades though, and he's somewhat managed to retake map control. Red is on 4 bases now, so he will be very comfortable, and soon Mutalisks will be out, which means most of the map control will turn back over into the Zerg's
Yeah, I
hands.
don't think Mark can take a fight with an upgrade deficit. I think he has a little bit more power right now, but it's very scary to engage so close to Zerg's 2-2 finishing. I think he still has a timing here, and he's gonna take it.
Oh, there's a drop at the left side as well while this engagement is going on. Very cost efficient here for uThermal. Nice splits definitely happening, but this will be cleaned up by the Mutalisk. Meanwhile, at the 4th base, this is actually being focused down by the Marines that are there. Is Red actually in time to save it?
I think he might barely be able to, but he lost a lot of
it's
drones
going
already.
into the
Oh,
red.
it's getting low. The Lynx are hitting the Marines, but the Marines are still shooting the hatchery.
And
The
it's
hatchery's gonna go down.
for sure. Nice pickup here by uThermal, killing 13 drones in the meanwhile as well. The medevac and the Marines do get taken out, but this gives uThermal a nice basis, to keep advancing. I really feel like he should be working on a 4th now, though, at this point in time. And his 3rd seems relatively unprotected, even though there's a Zerg army moving towards it.
The second factory for Drilling Claws and Thors is on the way, and that's really when I feel like Terran gains another level of power in their army. Right now, Ling Baneling Muta has a lot of dominance in the straight-up fights, but once Thors and Drilling Claws enter the battle, it becomes very tough. But he does seem to be favoring Hellbats in this matchup, so I guess it's just Thors for now.
Yeah, I mean, 4s are just very useful against Mutas as well, and we see that Red will be sticking to a Mutalisk heavy composition. He keeps flanking around to the other 3rd of uThermal, but there's really nothing there. And we now have a bit of a push already against from uThermal. Look at the medevac count. I really like this heavy medevac count because it keeps your Marines just alive for so much longer, and it synergizes really well with the Hellbat composition as well.
Yeah, I think especially with Hellbat compositions, it seems very strong because the Hellbats tank a lot of damage and they can get healed as well. So I guess you're correct.
Ooh, these Mutas though, they're making a dart towards the 3rd base. There's a Thor with a couple of Marines there, so I feel
Ooh, big hit, and there's a group of Marines flanking it, I think.
Oh, is Red
Oh,
paying
well,
attention to his Mutas? I don't think
One
so.
Muta going down. That wasn't
Counter
too
attack
bad.
in the natural though with a bunch of links running into the middle line. There are some forces here for uThermal to clean that up though, so he will be able to do quite decently. The Mutas are also poised
Does he
to
have a
strike.
turret in the natural? Just one. I think if the
Yeah.
Mutas swoop in, that's going to be very, very hard for uThermal to deal with.
Yeah, he's currently moving all of his forces up to his opponent's 3rd base.
Oh, this could be so bad.
Yeah, this could do a lot
Well,
of
he
damage.
repairs it quite quickly, though.
Yeah, but it's just too much damage coming out of the out of the Mutalisk. There's some Marines here in order to defend, but it's not going to be enough. He needs to run these SFVs away.
Oh no, and I think going all in on creep is so tough for Terran to deal with. This could
Oh.
be where Red turns the game around.
There's a drop on the left side as well. He's going to be defended here with Banelings against the Marines. Not a very cost-efficient trade usually for the Zerg. But yeah, Mark is moving on to creep. Meanwhile, the Mutalisk are going to take down this natural orbital command. Very good position here for Red. Some of the Marines of uThermal are not with his army. I'm not sure what his position is going to be here. Oh, is he trying to catch the Mutas?
I think he's just pre-splitting everything up front and not trying to...
Oh, the
Oh,
Mutas!
wow!
Oh, this is so
Oh,
bad
wow.
for Red. He's losing so many of his Mutalisks. This changes everything. However, there are just so many Banelings, but the supplies are just still in such favor of uThermal. Great splits of him. His army is completely pre-split. So many Banelings are dying, and this engagement is looking better and better for uThermal.
Fantastic positioning, and he's now hammering forward. He does have a good army, but he has so little reinforcements because of the lack of economy.
medevacs.
He has
They're
so
keeping
many
his army
medevacs.
alive.
Every Marine has his personal one.
such a huge mess up there by Red. If he hadn't lost all of those mutas, they would have done so much more damage in that fight. And now the third is completely being ransacked. The parade push across the map is just unrelentless, even though he lost so much economy in both his natural and his main. And GG! Yeah. Wow. So uThermal probably going to be feeling pretty good about that. I think we're going to go into a very quick 30-second commercial break after this. And then we will be back with you guys. And we got a little giveaway as well. Alright, we just had a short giveaway here in the audience, ladies and gentlemen, but no worries, the next game is already pretty much ready to go, just waiting for the players to join us. How do you feel uThermal feels after that game? Because that game was kind of Red's to take after the initial hold.
I think uThermal's mindset is was easily in the way in his previous series. His thoughts on TVZ, the matchup, and stuff like that. But winning the first 2 games like that should give him enough confidence to pull him through the series. And even though I want it to go long and want it to be exciting and epic, the way I feel currently is just a clean sweep, man.
Maybe. Like this might very well be the outcome of this series. I think uThermal definitely does have it in him to to clean sweep Red with this very solid play.
Yeah, Overgrowth is usually one of the Zerg maps. If Zerg doesn't manage to take that, the series becomes very difficult. We have Expedition Lost now, which is also usually considered to be one of the maps Zerg has good footing in. So if Red manages to take this, I give him a shot, but if he doesn't take this map, it becomes so difficult for him.
Nice. Alright, well, let's get into the game. Alright, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3 between these two players. We have in the top of Expedition Lost, we have the blue Terran from T Cooler Master. He's up 2-0 in his best of 7. He is uThermal.
In the bottom left corner, down 0-2, just like he was against Hearthstone. Can he give the same kind of turnaround? It's Liquid Rats! I have to quickly mention though, he's from Team ATcm, sponsored by Cooler Master.
Oh yeah, I make that mistake from time to time.
It's fine, Cooler Master, they're in our branding, as you can see, AT Cooler Master, but it's ATcm, man.
I'll keep that in mind. So once again we have a 2-player map, but I'm not seeing a 2 racks out of uThermal this time. Technically it could still be 12-14 racks, but that has gone out of fashion a long time ago. It looks like it will be more of a Reaper-based build, and I think, like he once again has the potential to do a lot of damage, like in the first game, except there was an even earlier Reaper build than in this game.
What are the odds you think there will be Hellbats?
Pretty high.
As in early, like not
early
eventually
Hellbats.
a Hellbat joins the army, but early Hellbats.
I don't know, like I haven't seen seen uThermal do that a whole lot. maybe you know more about that than I do, but it's
He did
still
it
he
in the
still
other
likes the Hellbat
series,
Banshee
so
push.
he did it in the other series quite a bit. That's why I.
Yeah, but he hasn't like straight up won the series with it yet.
No, that's true. He hasn't been winning with it, but I kind of have this feeling. I can feel the flames and the fire or something.
Well, this time Red once again going for a bit of a late pull, I think, and followed by an extractor, so you can get some gas going, get some Zergling speed. Yeah, I feel uThermal is definitely in a good mindset at this point. Like his splits were really good the last game, and even when he was being countered, his decision making was really good. Like I think nobody, like no Zerg player would expect a Terran to pre-split like that onto creep and keep his Marines after the side to snipe the units that were coming from the other side.
Yeah,
of
that
them.
was really
That
sick.
was a sick move.
Like I'm not sure if it was planned or not, because there is a scenario where you keep your Marines back just to overwhelm when someone misengages.
Yeah.
But I definitely it definitely seemed very planned, and
Yeah.
it was very so sick.
So he's built a reactor, and now he's following. He's built a Reaper, now he's following it up with a reactor rather than a factory. And I think that's an interesting decision to make. Like Red is of course making like 2 to 4 Zerglings. The Reaper is already being harassed out by these Zerglings, and he's going to be trying to poke a bit of damage as much as possible.
My Hellbat senses are tingling, man. Reactor after the Reaper, man. That's so often Hellbats.
Yeah. uThermal doing his best to do as much damage as possible, is now finally harassing the first drone, but the Queen has already popped. So how much damage can he actually still do here? I'm not quite sure. This one drone going very low, but he manages to sneak away.
He's already getting quite a bit out of it. I think he killed a few lings. The drone getting low is already annoying. The single Reaper from a 12 Rex isn't supposed to do that much, and that being said, this map is not very great for Reapers. There's very little angles it can maneuver.
Is he going to commit it this Reaper? No. Just gets out in time with, well, I think, how much damage does the Queen do per shot? Like, not a whole lot. 9.
Some, I'm not sure.
Supposedly 9, so one more shot would have killed the Reaper. He's actually moving it down the ramp saying, you can't come up here.
So we see a starport going down, and he does have a barracks already, and he is making a mine and a Hellion. So I guess a mine drop and a Hellion run by.
And the scouting gets denied.
It's kind of a weird build. I think this is this could be the build he was doing in his WCS matches against Snuda and Zigua, where he goes mine drop and then runs by the Hellions into the natural.
He's gonna spot
But I feel
the
like
drone.
the build needs to do more damage than is like it needs to do a lot more damage than you would think.
Yeah, this Reaper is. Oh, it's not dead because it actually jumps off the cliff at the last time. And I don't think Red will be giving chase. Hellion even coming in to save it. Yeah, this build looks like it could do a lot of damage in the upcoming fight. Like the third isn't even completed yet, and he's already moving into position in order to engage there and you know, pick a nice fight. The creep for Red is still underway. It's still being connected. So there might be queens there to defend in time for this attack, but Red is responding very nicely and getting a Baneling Nest, which is what he needs against the Hellbat push.
Well, I think it's a mine drop because he hasn't started an armory and he made a 1 or 2 Widow mines, I think. So
yeah,
it's kind of a weird thing because it's not very common in TVZ. Just the buildings alone scream Hellbats, but he's not making an armory and he's made a mine. So.
Those were some angry Marines, and now they let the Zergling up. The Zergling actually spots the starport adding a tech lab, and I don't think Red is actually aware of this push coming in with the drop. So this could potentially be very damaging.
Yeah, 5 Marines and a mine going into the main, and the Hellions are gonna try to run by in the natural. It's kind of here, Luke here, and then somewhere else everything dies.
Yeah. So the Queens are actually moving back. Those Banelings were actually okay. So Red is spreading his army, but the army of uThermal is currently moving into the main. The mine does get dropped, but he only kills 2 Zerglings. Yeah, this drop not doing all that much. Once again, he's going to be poking in at the front with the Hellion, see if he can do some damage, but there's Queens there already in order to defend.
Yeah, but these Hellions are going to be kind of annoying for Red to deal with. He doesn't have that much units, but it's hard to move up the ramp against Baneling, so he has to turn around. The Marines are back in the main, dropped again, and they are doing some damage.
He picks up the mine, and
he still has all of the units out of that drop, and it's
true.
been surrounded and attacked so many times. How impressive is that?
It's definitely annoying for Red, but I don't think uThermal is actually doing you know, a lot of damage, which is which is what you set out to do with this build. He is, however, following up with a third CC nicely. Like he's keeping up the pressure, so Red really doesn't have much of an opportunity to actually you know, counterattack. And now he seems to be making a move onto the third base of Red, but Red has connected creep. creep, so he shouldn't have a whole lot of difficulty actually defending this.
Economically, this is not unbearable, but just the upgrades
Ooh,
scare
the
me a lot for uThermal. This is a really bad engagement by Red, though,
Yeah.
and I don't think he's going to be able to save his units.
The important part
I
is
think uThermal was expecting more reinforcements and didn't chase there, but I think he could have definitely jumped on that.
yeah, he's gonna jump on the third right now. These Hellions definitely mobile enough to take care of these Banelings, and the Banshee doesn't have anything to counter it. There's still a Spore Crawl on the way, but if uThermal focus
the drones! The drones! No!
Oh, they're so
What?
clumped together.
no.
Why isn't he attacking these? Oh, he's focusing down the queens rather. He wants to do more damage to the units.
Oh.
This Banshee finally managed to kill the queen and is almost uncontested.
Well, the Hellions are going to clean up the links and they're going to come back in.
More links here on the way door for Red, but he's only got 6 in production. He's trying to cut off the Hellions, but they are just sitting there.
That was a fantastic trade for uThermal. I think that really shifted the tides a little bit. I still think Red is in a pretty decent spot considering he's ahead in
He's still
drone count,
droning.
and his upgrades are still ahead, but he needs to start 2-2 if he wants to keep that lead.
I'm
Oh, no, no, please, no! What? No, raise it! No, what the? Why?
I'm not sure what the decision making was there
That
for
was so weird.
2 Banshees there. They're picking up quite a few SCVs. Oh, this Hellion has to run for its life. Actually gets away there.
A dog doesn't catch a car, man.
No. Man. So the Spire is halfway finished for Red. He's got his lair. He's got. Does he have double Evo? He does have double Evo.
He doesn't
but
have double Evo, he has 1-1, but he
Yeah.
needs to start 2-2. It's like his lead. Ah, there we go.
Okay, so I feel Red is in a pretty good spot. Taking that fourth is an essential move. I think uThermal's third is quite late, considering even how early he started it. He still doesn't have any medevacs either. You know, medevacs in the previous game especially were just paramount to actually achieving that victory and being able to outlast the Zerg army in the long game.
Yeah, for sure. His medevac count is a bit behind, his upgrades are a bit behind. The thing that he does have going for him very well is that there is no creep leading up to the 4th base yet. It's going to be very hard for Red to defend his 4th base, but uThermal did decide to take the 3rd base that is farther away. So it's kind of hard for uThermal to defend all his bases in a little bit.
Yeah.
Ooh, the bench! Okay.
This is annoying for Red, definitely. Not having anything in the likes of a Spore Crawler to defend. This queen will not get away. And now he's going to start raining down Hellfire on these Zerglings.
And every time you pull your drones like that, that's 100 minerals or 150 or sometimes even 200 you lose and you just never get back.
It's Queen versus Banshee. Who wins? I think the Banshee has
Banshee
a lot more DPS than that. There's not even a second Queen that transfuse.
Yeah,
He's
it
going to
doesn't
lose it
win
now
again.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've experienced this firsthand. Another Queen being under fire, and uThermal's actually kind of pushing forward with his medevac timing. I think he's overextending though. Here comes a counterattack though by Red at the third of uThermal. Some of the SCVs being focused down. Oh, this is very annoying, just putting him there on hold position because the SCVs will eventually wander back, so he has to pull these Marines out of the bunker, stim them and then pull them back in.
He needs to boost his medevacs.
This is a very dangerous situation for uThermal. He needs to reinforce his current army. Gonna lose some of the medevacs, and Red has, in my opinion, has map control at this point.
Yeah, Red has control. The only thing I can say that isn't in his favor is the creep spread. His upgrades are ahead. uThermal still hasn't started his +2 carapace, which is a huge deal. If your Marines only have 1 carapace upgrades against 2 Lings, that's very, very tough. I'm not sure if the Banelings actually, like the detonations, make a difference in that.
No.
But it's even possible, if there's an upgrade difference, that the Banelings one-shot the Marines. I know that with combat shields it's like that, but I actually don't think it's with just the 1 upgrade difference.
I think that uThermal really feels like he has to make something work here. 2-2 is about to finish for, has actually finished for Red, so he's definitely in a lead, both in the army-wise as well as upgrades. So this, uThermal really needs to handle this fight in the best way possible. He needs to not only win the fight, but also kill
no
stuff.
Creep there. It's so hard for a Zerg player to engage
Oh,
into that
Mutalisk
with no
falling.
creep leading up to it.
He's doing a good pre-split though. Maybe if he put those...
Oh, the Banelings! Split! No, one! Oh! Wow.
Okay, that's painful. Oh, he's gonna focus down the Widow Mine. Nice job there by Red.
He still has 3 meals and he is up in army supply. It's not impossible, but he's down in upgrades and it's so tough to take fights like that.
He seems indecisive, like he's waiting for a 4 in order to actually reinforce, like he's afraid to take a fight, even though if he were to park his army there, he would actually be able to deny even more creep spread. But the army from Red has really grown in size. He's got a lot of Lings, he's got a lot of Banelings. His Mutalisks are kind of just flying around defensively. And I think uThermal's going to make another try. But this attack, it kind of has to work. Like
Army value is equal, and he is partially off creep. This could go his way if Red decides to take a bad engagement. And he's going across the map with his mutas, which gives uThermal a lot of ground.
Oh, these Hellbats are doing so much work against all of these Banelings and Zerglings. Red is just forced to keep darting back and forth. Maybe adding on a Widowmine would be nice. The Hatchery is already half HP. Morphing Banelings right in front of the army. I'm not sure what he's trying to achieve here. But the army of uThermal is definitely doing good work here. He's all going to come from one angle. He's morphing in so many Banelings.
This is not how you want to engage.
Oh, he's fighting off creep partially. Nice splits here by uThermal, but still the Banelings do a lot of damage. The army value from uThermal is dropping quite heavily and he's forced to retreat.
Red doesn't seem to engage quite spread out enough. I feel like he always has the army to do it, and then he rolls in with everything at once, hold positions his mutas over the Thor. Thor gets picked up, and he's kind of like in this silly position where his units aren't doing damage and his units are taking damage.
uThermal now has 2-2 completed, but he's still lacking a 4th base, which I feel he really needs, especially if he's going to keep pushing there towards the south. Taking a base there would be pretty beneficial. He's also not started 3-3, even though, well, he's actually kind of lacking the resources. He's not mining gas from his 3rd base. So I feel uThermal is definitely the one behind in economy. Like, he's only got 55 SCVs. He's going to make another run for it, but most of his Marines and Marauders are going to get flanked by the Mutalisks.
This is a very nice positional move by Red.
Oh, and Red is going to go for it.
He needs to pull the Marines away.
Oh,
the Banelings, so many of them blew up on 1 or 2 units. This is so
but he's still on creep. Gets good connections though with the Banelings, but still, there's still a lot of Marines left there. The army from Red is mostly occupied here, trying to just distract the rest of the army. Banelings now rolling in though, and here this time there will be Mutalisks also from the south.
The 4th base went down.
Yeah, it's huge, but I don't think it's nothing that Red can come back from this.
Yeah,
and he might kill so many medevacs.
Yeah, they don't have. Oh wow. Captain J-Dong splitting his medevacs.
He's still gonna lose quite a few.
He's gonna have boost again. I think he'll save most of them actually because of the split and because Red didn't split with the medevacs.
Here come the mutas on top of the medevacs though. Not too good. He needs to boost.
Boost.
No, he's gonna lose all of his. Oh, okay, maybe one will actually survive.
No, what? No, okay, one. Well, there was one on the minimap dying, but you didn't see it.
Yeah.
This is very tough. He doesn't have 3-3. He doesn't have a great economy. This is really, really Red's game to give.
He killed these rocks. I'm not sure what the point of killing those rocks.
Surviving, man.
I suppose. Man, I feel uThermal's in a very poor spot. Like, Red is still on 4 base, and he's gonna be harassing. Like, he's finally taking to the offense with his mutas, now flying into the main base. Gonna be able to snipe a Thor. Really nice move here by Red. No 3-3 on the way yet. He's got equal Baneling to his Mutalisk account actually, and now he's gonna be ransacking the production. And what's uThermal gonna do? He's gonna push.
But he doesn't have that threatening of an army. It's just Red played very well this game, and even though he misengaged once, his macro is always going well. His positions were good. He picked up a lot of reinforcements with his mutas, and this is just a very tough position for uThermal to come back from.
So many Banelings blowing up on Hellbats and Marauders. Definitely not something you want. However, I feel that at this point, Red can basically afford to, and GG.
Doesn't want to give the Zerg player the satisfaction of the last Baneling connections.
Yeah, those were quite nice.
Look at this man sitting in his suit, taking care of business,
checking Twitter
every day.
All right, so he's managed to start his comeback. He's down 2-1. Still not something to feel all that safe about, because we all know that uThermal is very capable of bringing the hurt.
Well, I think that map is the best map for Zerg.
Okay.
Just because of the way run-bys work, the way you have an entrance into the main base and stuff like that. I think the 4th is kind of hard to defend for Zerg, but counterattacking and just the map architecture is very, very good for Zerg.
uThermal felt a bit lost to me in this game. Like, he wasn't really sure what he wanted to accomplish with his army. And at the same time, he did do a pretty good game. But he never went over 55 harvesters. He never got a 4th. I'm just not sure what he was really trying to achieve in this game in order to win. uThermal, of course, still one of the best players, not being in the finals for no reason. He's performed very well, but I think Red also has it in him in order to squeeze out this series.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's okay.
Sorry, I had to give my teammates some advice, man.
I'm not sure if that's ethical casting, man.
Well, I'm not ethically casting. They asked me if I wanted to cast. I said yes.
Right. Okay. Well, it looks like we're going to be going into this game quite soon. I think uThermal definitely has what it takes in order to to close out this series. I'm not sure if he's actually the favorite player because I really liked Red's play in that previous game. He played very standard. You know, he didn't have to even get the hive. So I guess you've got a good point with the map perhaps being a bit favored.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it. And this map is fantastic for Terran. Reapers are so insanely hard to deal with on this
All
map.
right. Well, let's find out and see.
I always lose like 3-4 drones against 11 racks.
All right, here we are. We are on Catalina this time. We have in the bottom left side of the map, we have the red Zerg from TeamLiquid. He's red.
In the bottom right corner, God of Micro, uThermal!
My face when you're trying this hard.
Man, like, you can say a lot of stuff about uThermal, and I think oftentimes his styles can be weird or for some people even questionable, but his army control is just better than most other players I know. Like, it's significantly stronger than every other Terran of his level.
Yeah, of course his splits and his armor control are probably his best feat as a player. He's gonna probably demonstrate this in this game though, because he went 11 racks, 11 gas. So your complaints about heavy Reaper play on this map seem to be very valid, and Mark seems to be very aware of this going for what seems to be an early Reaper build.
And these are the good spawns for Terran.
Yes, and
the Zerg main is closest to the barracks this way, and if he scouts it with the SCV and is going to know it, it's going to be very tough for Red to deal with it. Like, even though I know it's coming, if I open hatch first, I just have trouble like not taking too much damage against early Reapers on this map.
Let's see how uThermal's going to scout. He's going to scout the other direction, which I don't think is a very good thing for him. Like, he definitely needs, if he can get a bunker up like between the main and the natural with Reapers in it, that's just so painful for a Zerg to to have to deal with. Still, getting this SV in the right position means he will actually get the right scout off, so he will know where to send his Reaper. He's already rallied correctly.
Yeah, it's already rallied correctly because SCV is going the other way. This all seems very standard-ish for uThermal. I just think this is very hard to deal with for Red.
I think Red saw the Reaper.
Yeah, and he knows it's gonna come. Like, there's no other build that's as good on this map. So Zerg is aware of it, and I think he went 15 pool instead of 16 pool just to get the queen out a bit earlier and get the lings out a bit quicker.
Yeah, of course, lings and queens are key to this to stopping this. He's actually making 6 Zerglings already. Of course, uThermal is also continuing his Reaper production, so it's definitely a wise decision to keep this up. He's going to be sniping his first Zergling here. Queen is not yet finished. Even more Zerglings on the way here, and uThermal doing quite a bit of damage, but he's not attacking any drones quite yet. Oh, there we go. First damage goes down on the drone. Manages not to snipe off this one Zergling. He seems afraid to commit, rightfully so, because there's now 2 Reapers actually.
Yeah, and Red's handling this very well. He went for the 15 pool, the Zerglings were chasing for just the right amount of times. uThermal's microing back well, and he should be able to put a lot of hurt on his queen. And once the 3rd Reaper joins, it's going to be very tough for Red to keep that safe, because he needs the queens in his natural as well.
Yeah, like he's going to be regenning these hurt Reapers immediately. After finishing his 3rd Reaper, he's now going to be adding on the reactor as well as a factory, so we can, well, of course, maybe do some Hellbat shenanigans once again.
Well, the 3rd CC is on the way, so I think that's not very likely. I mean, you can always throw down the armory, but it's more difficult.
Oh, nice micro here by uThermal, trying to get this one Reaper not too hurt. Might pick up the queen, but no, he's still going to be focusing more.
He's hurting the queens a lot. Speed is pretty close to finishing, but on this map, that's not as big of a deal because you have so much clips cliffs to jump up and down that the Reapers rarely ever get caught by speedlings.
Yeah, he knows that it's quite close. Like it's going to be finishing almost perfectly at the 6-minute mark. At which moment you know as a Terran player you kind of have to get out because there will be circling speed. 6 more links being added on as well as a couple more drones. No queen kills yet for uThermal, but he does manage to get out with all of his Reapers.
Yeah, and he'll survive with them. On other maps it's dangerous, but on Catalina the Reapers never die. It's just how it is. He was afraid of I don't know why his command center is in his main actually. Maybe he wanted to fake red out thinking it would be 2x Reaper, but that seems unlikely.
These Reapers. Oh, they're gonna get... Oh, okay, I guess they truly... Okay, one dies.
I think they will die, yeah.
Helene's now in position to try to help, but they are too late. So very nice pick up there by Red, killing these Reapers that did really not do all that much damage, I have to say.
No, they didn't do the expected amount of damage. Maybe Red is just that much better at microing his lings and drones.
Yeah. So the third is also underway for Red. uThermal's going to try and take map control of these Hellions. He's also going to be adding on a Banshee. Probably, since he's not getting Cloak, this will be followed up with a Viking to be able to take out a couple of Overlords.
Yeah, likely, and I hope he does get Cloak, but it seems like he won't, and that kind of saddens me once again. I just feel like Banshees with Cloak have so much more potential.
Yeah. Baneling Nest now being added on for Red. He sees the Hellions and probably anticipates that there will be Hellbats to follow this up.
This looks a lot like Roach Baneling, making 11 roaches in a Baneling Nest.
Yeah.
And he's making a Banshee. This could actually be very, very good for uThermal if he scouts it in time.
One Banshee won't guarantee you victory against Roach Bane. It's still going to be a lot of units. And he sees the roaches now popping out.
Starts a second Banshee.
I don't think he doesn't know that there's a third hatch behind this as well. He's going to be trying to kite this as much as possible.
Marauder.
But he doesn't have... Okay, he looks to be... Yeah, he's going to be walling off the top of his ramp, which he absolutely needs. Yeah, Marauder being added as one. He's preparing for this all-in quite well. This Banshee is just going to be so essential to the fight.
Oh, this is so good for uThermal, catching this quite quickly. He does need to get that wall up though. Lynx getting in could be tough.
He's got a lot of Hellions though, and not that many Roaches. So
yeah, the Roach count is not that threatening, and there's not that many Banelings. I would really like the Banshee to start focusing down the Banelings though.
Oh, he's not going to complete the bunker, but he immediately rebuilds.
Oh, the rebuild!
So sick! And now he kills a lot of these Zerglings before they even move in. The Banelings are finally there, but now he can just retreat. He should use his Banshee to focus down the Banelings. He does. Banelings now trying to catch a few SVs, but there's not that many. And wow, this rush is being stopped in its tracks.
And uThermal's control just shining. That rebuild of the hatchery, the kiting, the target fire, it was just all on point, and it got destroyed. He didn't even have a finished bunker, and it didn't matter.
GG, he's just gonna GG out. Wow. Impressive hold by uThermal, I have to say. He basically saw that attack only the moment those roaches actually came down the ramp. So he still had some time to adequately prepare for this. But still, it puts him in a really good position. Being 3-1 up against Red means Red is under some severe pressure because, of course, both of these players really want to win.
Yeah, and I don't know what the next map is.
No, I'm not quite sure actually as well. We'll have to see once we get invited into the lobby.
Very curious, because that makes a big difference.
But to me, doing a Roach Bane build kind of feels like a desperation move from Red. I don't think he felt confident playing the macro game on this map.
Yeah.
So he kind of transitioned into that.
That's very, very plausible. I wonder
Infernal
why he
pools.
decided for it though. Like, uThermal has been doing Hellbat and Banshee builds almost every game. It just seemed like such a weird decision. It's so standard for Terrans to go Banshee or Hellbat that it's just so like, I don't think Roach Bane builds are very good in the current meta.
Alright, I see. Well, they used to be the bane of my ladder war, so I'm not too upset about that.
I can see that.
Yeah, like we haven't seen uThermal.
Inferno pools.
It's an interesting map for this stage of the game. Like it's 3-1 up for uThermal.
Yeah, and this map can be very good for either player. It's completely random.
All right.
So we're playing a bit of Hearthstone here.
Maybe, yeah. So the map is loading. Let's get into the game. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DSCL Invitational Finals. This is potentially the last game in this series. We have here, at the red side, we have the red Zerg from TeamLiquid, down 1-3. He's red.
In the top left corner, the destroyer of dreams and bailing all-ins, it's uThermal!
I just want to give a quick shout out to our audience here, being awesome and showing up.
And showing up.
Being here, whatever.
I didn't expect it, guys, but I'm glad you're here.
No, I'm just sadly disappointed that one friend of mine couldn't make it. So that's why I'm extra glad that these people are here to keep us company.
Okay, then it makes sense. Positions. I think, Raymond, you know just as well as me who these positions favor.
They supposedly favor the Terran, I've heard.
No.
Oh crap.
No, yes.
Well, that shows how much I've actually
No,
played on this map.
I think these positions are actually, weirdly enough, not that favorable for either side, just because they're very awkward to play.
Oh, that you
natural
trapped me there.
The natural ramp is very annoying, and like quick roach pushes with 7-ish roaches can be very, very tough to stop for Terran.
Yeah.
Or like a link flood. And next to that, if Terran's army gets overwhelmed once, it's very hard to stop the counter all in.
Yeah.
But next to that, there's obviously the very obvious point that the rush distance is not very far, which is usually generally good for Terran because they like to be aggressive. Other than that, it's very easy to divert your push into drops. If you're pushing into Zerg, it's very easy to pick up a medevac and go to the natural or go to the third base. Like you have a lot of openings to move your army around.
I see.
So I think if this game normalizes, I definitely favor the Terran player.
Alright. So I was half right.
Yeah, of course. It's a trick question.
Thank you. Alright, so we have red trying to do some good scouting. This Overlord won't see the Reaper that is... wait, I say Reaper, but where is it? Okay, it's in the... It's just popped out the natural, and it won't be spotted quite yet. He does see, however, that there's an SCV there in position to construct the command center. The question is, what is red really going to do? Is he going to... You know, he got, of course, a relatively timely extractor. He's going to add a few links to be safe against Reapers. Will he transition into a roach push like you mentioned? I'm really not sure how much red is actually played on this map.
There's one annoying aspect is that there is for red that there is a little jump up pad in the natural, so it's very hard to like actually 100% secure from Reapers, scouting wise. But other than that, I'm not sure. He's making a drone. He started speed, but I don't think mining gas anymore. Well, he's mining with 2. He's mining with 2 after starting speed, so this does definitely look like something cheesy.
Yeah. Well, this Reaper is getting a lot of info. It's being really annoying as well.
The drone! BAM!
Oh, he got liquidated.
It just dead.
It's almost like we're in Amsterdam, dude.
Wow.
No,
wow.
I'm just basing myself off of recent facts in the news.
Wow. Okay. He's still mining gas. He's almost at 100. I wonder what he's gonna go for. Lair with a roach warren and going for a roach timing would not seem weird to me. I really, really like uThermal's decision to go for a quicker starport, like before the 3rd CC.
But what do you think of Red's lair? This looks like a roach push again to me.
Yes, it could also be Muta. We'll have to see. Like, he needs to throw down his Evo and his Roach warren right now if he wants it to be Roach.
That's
if he
true.
doesn't throw it down right now, it has to be Muta. But then again, he's not taking any of his gases, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Okay, now he's taking gases.
And now he takes all of them. Okay, that
but
makes
that's
sense.
still a bit delayed, I feel. Like, this still gives a lot of space for uThermal to actually do some damage.
Yeah, for sure. And seeing it's probably going to be a Hellbat push, because there is a medevac in production, this can be tough, because he took all the late gases, if he wants to fit in both his Spire and the Baneling Nest and gas for multiple Banelings, it might be tough.
And uThermal's already putting on the pressure with all of these Hellions. And the annoying thing for Red is, yeah, he needs to build a Baneling Nest. But if he starts to build Banelings, then he can't really make Mutas because he's going to be lacking a lot of gas.
Yeah, and he did start the Baneling Nest, but it's not on time. It was at like 6:50-ish, which is kind of late. Like,
he gets
the
supply
Hellbats
blocks.
are almost there, and the Baneling Nest is almost halfway done at this point.
Yeah, and he's quite supply blocked. Like, look at how many units Red actually has. He has 4 links and 3 queens. He can barely add on anything more. He's gonna relocate his spine.
Yeah, he does have a spine, and a spine is very good against this.
Yeah. Queens are kind of moving to the edge of the creep. I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe.
Well, the Baneling S is finishing. The armor is complete, but the units were not in position yet. He does have the Hellbats now. The Baneling still need to be morphed, though. There is a little bit of a timing window for uThermal here, but he has to hurry up.
Yeah, he's being delayed by this Overlord, and now he's going to be focusing down this Spinecrawler, which is falling.
Spine is getting hit. Does he have? He had one transfuse, but that's it. The Spine is going to go down. Can the Queens defend against his Hellbat? He's pushing in. The Banelings are finishing.
He sees the Banelings, and now he's going to be splitting. Queen's trying to do as much damage as they can, but almost all of the Banelings detonate on one of the Hellbats. But this also marks the death of the last Hellbat, so I think he will be picking up and getting out of there. So good defense by Red, but he's still, it was still quite costly, and it's going to cost him even more Overlords.
Yeah, that defense was quite well done by Red. He still has enough Queens left to inject and possibly respread creep, and he's not dead yet, but he does need to be careful because he doesn't have that much units currently on the field.
Here come the Banelings and the Zerglings for Red. Decent splitter actually, and uThermal isn't doing all that badly against all of these Queens. Nice pickup micro here, keeping that one. Oh, it's dead now, and one transfuse kept the other Queen alive as well. Where are all the 7 Mutalisks now in production for Red. He's still not on the third base though, which I do worry for him, but at the same time the army of uThermal is also pretty lacking.
Yeah, I think this is usually going 2-base Mina against a Hellbat push, if you defend properly, gives you a very, very good position. So I'm a bit worried for uThermal. The supply is ahead for Red. uThermal doesn't have an upgrade lead, and he doesn't have a third base started yet, I think.
I'm not quite sure what his game plan is. Like, he's still working heavily on his infrastructure. He does have 3 Vikings, and I kind of like that, because along with Sim Marines, they can really poke at the mutas from long range without the mutas actually being able to properly engage. However, he does need stim and some medevacs for that. He's adding on turrets because he really needs those.
Is Red gonna go all in? He's only making links. He's got Baneling speed on the way. This looks a lot like the Life-esque Link Bane all in after the muta.
I'm pretty sure he wants to go all in off of this, and I kind of like it.
This doesn't look too bad for Mark, though. He didn't make a third command center. He's got a lot of barracks. If he can position well, I think this could be a good thing for him. Making 3 Vikings is tough, though.
Oh, he's pulling SCVs for this as well in order to secure his ramp.
I would really like 1 or 2 bunkers. He has so little information. He cannot play off of the assumption that Red just plays macro.
Red is adding a macro hatch, and he's finally managed to secure a third base, whereas uThermal doesn't have first CC on the way at all.
Red's investing all of his resources into links and Banelings and has no upgrades
going. That's one whole bunch of Banelings now being
Baneling speed is about to finish.
20 more links on the way. This will be the final push, I feel, from Red in this game. At least he wants it to be the final one.
Is uThermal going to be in position?
I don't think so. He's going to get up the ramp. Vikings will try to take out some of these mutas, but they just get on top of the Vikings.
Depots?
This is not looking good for uThermal at all. He's going to lose the natural and everything in it from the looks of it. The turret doing some work against the Mutalisk, but it's not going to be enough. He tries to retreat the SCVs. He needs to split.
He has a decent amount of Marines, but he just doesn't have that many Medevacs.
GG's just going to GG out. So we can definitely say that Red is far from dead in this series.
Yeah,
pulling off a great defense against the Hellbat Marine push from uThermal.
I think with a bunker or 2 that would have been okay, but he just didn't have anything blocking a natural ramp, which allowed the Zerg army to roll in just so freely.
I think uThermal may have over-focused on his attack and didn't have enough economy and infrastructure yet behind it.
Possibly. I just feel like...
Like, no medevacs, come on.
Well, I feel like playing against 2-base muta from that build is just tough in general. Like, if he would have made medevacs, the Vikings wouldn't have been able to poke at the mutas. The mutas could run around more. Like, there's pros and cons to everything. I feel.
That's true. Like, he was in a position. Like, I guess if Red hadn't all in and would have just gone regular muta, those Vikings would have been a lot more useful than they were.
Yeah, of course, obviously. Yeah.
All right. Well, next game is also already being set up. Both of these players not showing any signs of tiredness. It seems like they're both still playing on top of their A game.
Well, I mean, we're all used to long hours of ladder, so like playing 7 games in a row in a tournament should not be a big deal either.
All right. Well, it seems already the next game is pretty much ready to get started. We are going into Deadwing, one of the bigger maps in this pool, and let's get the show on the road. we are again, ladies and gentlemen, on Deadwing this time. This is game 5 in the best of 7. The score is currently...
Isn't it game 6?
Oh, it's game 6, yeah, because we've played 5 games.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Here in the bottom right, we have representing TeamLiquid. He's the king of drones, Red Zerk. He is red.
In the top left corner, in the blue trunks, it's uThermal!
Awesome. Man, I'd like to see uThermal bust out the mech builder too, but I really don't think it's his style, even on this map.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad for him. He got cross positions on this map,
Yeah,
which is tough.
That's just going to favor red even more,
Yeah.
it seems. Yeah, man, what do you do? Like
Wait, what map is the 7th map?
Overgrowth? No, we
Vani,
played Vani,
Vani,
yeah.
Vani. Right.
I should probably...
Okay. Not all hope is lost for either player.
Alright, tell me more.
Well, I think Vani is a map where either player can win, and I feel like Deadwing is definitely in favor of Red right now, but I mean, Mark has a game to give still, so I feel like the chances are pretty good for both players, series-wise at this point.
Yeah. Well, once again, Mark seems to be going for that very early Reaper, but that's not looking too good for him with these spawns. You know, cross spawns. It's gonna take a while for that Reaper to get there in order to be, you know, to even actually do some damage. At the same time, though, will Red decide to go for even greedier opener? He's currently at 16 supply, so maybe he'll go 3 hatch before pool, or just go for for his standard 16 pool.
Did you notice if it was a 12 Rex or 11 Rex Reaper?
11.
11?
Yes.
Okay, well, then he's banking on Red playing Gasless. That's the only reasonable way to look at it. 11 Rex Reaper is extremely strong against Gasless, and this is one of the only maps where Zerg plays Gasless just because the third base is so close. Red does decide to grab a Gaslo, and that puts uThermal at a definite build order disadvantage, especially because the Reaper has to go all the way cross map.
Yeah, and he's now starting to scout all the way to the bottom with his SCV. Looking at the barracks, we see that it's rallied towards this, towards the same direction. But he will probably send it all the way to the right side, meaning that it will take... Well, actually, it's rallied cross, I think. Yeah, so this will mean it'll take not as long as it would have.
The rush distance from main to main is still gigantic. Even though his Reaper isn't going by the wrong base first, it still takes
checking
like
Red's
too
vision,
long.
and I don't think he's noticed the Reaper unless he was looking at the mini-map.
Probably not. Because 2 links, I think I would make 4-ish at least against a Reaper if I saw it. And making drones in a natural like this is annoying, so I definitely think he missed it, but he still knows now and it's not too late.
Wow, this Reaper really isn't doing anything at this point. Like, of course, it forced the drone into an extractor, and he's
that drone got enough creep. You go!
Oh, it's dead.
Bam!
And he actually sends it down 2 more. I'm not quite sure what the decision rationale behind this is. uThermal is going to be kiting these SCVs for as much as he can. The Queen does finish though, so he should be able to ward off these Reapers from this point on a lot more easy.
So now that Red has a Queen, he should be able to stabilize. I don't know why his 3rd Queen isn't started yet. That's kind of greedy to do.
Nice
Especially
micro.
against 11 Rex when there's going to be a 3rd Reaper. If you only have 2 Queens, one of the Queens is very likely to die if it doesn't have support.
Yeah, well, another Queen is going down the ramp, so they will be able to give each other some support, some pats on the back. uThermal, meanwhile, has started his factory in his command center, in his own base, and he will be, going for a much more macro-oriented focus. This time we have 3 full health Reapers, though, heading on to the Queen. Gonna try to snipe the tumor. They get it. That's quite nice. Doing as much damage to this Queen as possible, trying to micro back and forth.
This is so good for uThermal. If he can get time to go in once more before speed and kill one of the Queens, that would be great. But the speed is so close to finishing.
Yeah, it's got only 10 more seconds. Needs to make it work quickly, and there's now also...
He needs to go or go back. He can't sit there.
Yeah, he's just gonna get surrounded and killed. I think it's too late.
The Queen, the Lynx, the Queen, something.
Oh, now
Lynx
speed finishes, and now he's in a bit of trouble. He's gonna be trying to make his way across the map, but he's gonna lose one of the Reapers for sure.
He keeps 2, so that's okay. And it's kind of hard to catch Reapers if they stay here, just because they can keep jumping up and down between the 3rd base of one base and the other 3rd base.
Red is getting a perfect scout of uThermal's plans, and that's probably why he's sending these Zerglings across map. And they actually catch the Reapers. Oh, actually, no, they decide to break off. I'm not sure what the decision behind this is. But yeah, now 2 Hellions have finished up for uThermal, so he will be able to stabilize a bit more at the front. But you know, he's making a Banshee once again, not Cloak, because Red can pretty much see everything. Red is supply block for now, though. I'm not
Yeah, that's a little bit sloppy, and he's not started Overlords yet, which means he doesn't notice yet, which is kind of bad. But
like he's getting a hatchery, but yeah, that's
at
still
least
not
his
enough.
queen production isn't delayed, which is the biggest thing, and he does have 16/16 mineral saturation on both bases. So in the end, it's not the worst supply buck you can have, but it's definitely very sloppy. uThermal catches the run by, which is very, very good for Terran. If he can keep chasing the links, he can keep map control, but
Yeah.
he lost sight of them, which is a bit unfortunate for him.
Red is really starting to work on his creep threat, which I think is incredibly important on a large map like this. Once again, uThermal is establishing map control, but he really won't be able to do all that much with it. He might be able, though, to set up a push where he abuses the high ground and manages to attack the third base. Oh, actually
He doesn't
focusing down
have
one
a
of the queens.
transfuse, and that queen is already low. One
Oh,
queen is
it's
going to go
dead.
down for sure. That's very nice.
Nice
for
pickup,
uThermal.
but he
He
needs
still
to be
doesn't have a
careful.
transfuse. He could have more danger with the queens. 2 more queens are in production,
Yeah.
so he might transfer those as well.
He spent a lot of energy on his creep tumor, so that's probably the main reason for that. Double eBay now being built here for uThermal before Red has even decided to start and construct, you know, his own evolution chambers. It's actually quite similar.
Yeah,
Another exchange at the front with a Banshee this time. He doesn't have Cloak, but it doesn't seem to need to, as it picks up. Oh, he should keep fighting with it. Picks up another queen. Nice job here by uThermal. Has one more queen, which is kind of low in HP, which he can do some damage to. Oh, there's one Hellion not being controlled all that perfectly, though. Nice trader by uThermal. Almost gets around it, but no, backs up just in time and kills a lot of these Zerglings.
and he keeps losing Zerglings, and his queen count is dwindling. This is very scary for Red. He cannot lose
he's
the
taking a lot
drones
of
from
damage
his
from
third
his
base.
links, though. But this Banshee is still up, and now he's going down onto the drones, killing off so many of them. The drones try to fight back, but as we know, that doesn't always fare well, and he kills so many drones. 10 drones have already died, and now
That's
the
not that
Zerglings.
many links.
There isn't enough links, no, but this Banshee is finally going to fall to the queen, and this will finally mark the end of this attack from uThermal, which also costs him map control, but I feel that was definitely not a bad attack at all.
I think that was worth it. Killing so many queens and killing so many drones is always a good thing. He needs to be, he needs to have a way to expand his third base though, so I hope he has enough army to do that soon.
Yeah, he definitely has the money as well to, wait, he's getting a third engineering bay? I'm not sure what the idea. Oh, he needs to wall off immediately, like there's a lot of
okay.
links. He doesn't have stim, but
2
okay.
for upgrades, 1 for missile turrets.
Ah, I understand. So yeah, he's finished his third command center. Starport is also getting a reactor, so he will be starting the production of his medepacks quite soon. He's adding on a few more barracks. I think uThermal is in good shape, but so is Red. Like they're both heading into the mid game on pretty much equal footing.
Yeah, I think.
I think Red is a bit ahead actually.
You think Red is a bit ahead? Yeah, maybe a little bit. Losing map control is actually pretty big for him, and he was very greedy. So even though he lost a lot of drones, it didn't cut into his economy that much. And his third base still hasn't landed yet. And for the 3cc build Mark is doing, landing your third this late is kind of tough.
Like as a Terran, I always feel very uncomfortable with a lot of mutalisks on the map. There's a few, but the amount of damage they'll probably actually do is quite low. They're going to try and pick off some reactors though, which is very nice. This is a very nice pickup for Red actually. But
What?
oh, and it doesn't get repaired in time.
Nice job by Red.
Very
you
nice
know
job
how
by Red
long it
indeed.
takes for a reactor to build.
Yeah, it takes very long. They're very expensive too.
Yeah.
As well, and actually Red is now moving into the natural. There's only a couple of Marines there, and they get taken out quite easily. But those reinforcements here, not that good of a trade for Red, maybe.
Yeah, not at all. I think Red needs to just chill a bit and macro up. He does have a bit of a supply lead, and he does have Mute as a map control.
Yeah, he's
but,
keeping
he
uThermal
can't-
honest.
Yeah,
and
but he can't
uThermal-
force himself in. I mean, that's usually not a good idea.
No, not at all. Drone count is being is going up even further. I think he's up to like 70, almost 80 drones at this point. So he must be feeling very healthy in terms of his economy, even already main-arming drones. Well, the base isn't even finished. Getting bailing speed, more mutalisk upgrades, +2 attack already on the way. I feel Red is in a very good position, but he needs to work on his creep spread a bit more, perhaps.
He still hasn't started Carabase. Ah, there we go. So he's a bit behind in upgrades, and I think this is actually the first game where uThermal is ahead in upgrades, which is pretty big. And I think, especially in this matchup, the upgrades make a huge difference for the Marines. Lynx and Baneling just get shredded so much quicker when there's a deficit for Zerg.
I'm not sure what uThermal's plan is here moving to this side. He's going to catch a bit of a run by, which is nice. Actually, Mew is darting into the third base, focusing down the turret, immediately doing a lot of damage, but there are Marines here in order to defend this. uThermal actually has quite a bit of difficulty with because the Mew count seems to be very, very high.
Yeah, the meter count is so high, and that has a lot to do with the fact that uThermal hasn't been able to perform his first medevac drop and force a lot of banings out of Zerg.
Yeah.
So Zerg could easily sit on pure Ling and Muda just because he had map control.
Things are looking rough here for uThermal. Like you mentioned, the mobility of the Mutalisk is definitely a factor that really helps on this map when you're playing Zerg. Already the swarm is quite noticeable on the map, and I don't think this is going to lead to an engagement, but if uThermal could take a trade, I think he would.
If he could take, I think his best bet is maxing out, but he might not know that.
The only one who's close to maxing out here seems to be Red.
Yeah.
However, he has a nice 2-2 timing, way ahead of Red's.
Yeah, but I don't think that makes up for like an almost 50 supply deficit. He needs to chill, get like a big army, maybe grab a fourth base. I feel like if uThermal wants to have a chance in this game, he has to play a passive style. He cannot go ahead and force himself in.
He's already playing quite passive, I would say. Like, he's got a nice force back home while going back and forth onto the map with his own forces. Oh, needs to watch out for the medevacs though. Decent Thor shot, but he loses one of them.
Yeah, that was a nice micro by Red, pulling away the mutas in time, catching a medevac, very, very well done.
Look at Red's vision, like he sees almost everything. How is uThermal ever gonna get a drop in? I don't think so.
I don't think so either, and uThermal has decided it's time to push, but there's a counterattack ready, and if that kills too much in the third, I don't think there's hope for uThermal to win this game.
Oh, I think Red could have fought that.
The upgrades are now equal as well, so the little bit of a timing window that uThermal did have with the upgrade lead is now no longer existent.
This is so annoying. The army's out on the map and the mutas just fly into the base. What does uThermal really have to deal with this back home? Like, there's a few turrets in the Thor, but they just killed instantly. Like, repairing doesn't even really help. He needs to like pick up Marines and fly them into his own base. More Marines. Thor gets magic boxed and taken out with impunity. This is so annoying for uThermal, and Red, he seems to be able to capitalize on it.
Oh, the medevacs!
Oh, that was painful.
This is so tough as a Terran player to like just keep taking hits, and there's so little like ways for you to come back into the game in this scenario.
He deals quite nicely with the ground forces of Red, but Red doesn't seem to care. He
are
adds on the
still
hive.
doing
He doesn't even decide to deal with the mutas. He's just gonna go for a base trade. It almost seems like a waste because he was just so far ahead. Or at least he had such a good army. He had such a good built-up base, and now he's just gonna fight on creep.
Maybe
I don't see this going well.
Maybe he's gonna magically catch all the mutas again and win the game magically.
Yeah, like he did it before, so why not try it again? But there's still so many mutas, so you're just cleaning out Red's uThermal's base. His pre-split is quite good, but how do you get into a solid position against this many
army
banelings?
supply, but banelings are low supply cost.
Oh, and here we go, banelings rolling into the army of uThermal. The pre-split is huge though, but so is the baneling count. He keeps splitting and splitting and splitting, but is there enough? 180 supply to 110 of uThermal. There are no reinforcements because the mutalisks are just killing everything into the main base. uThermal tries to trade, but what is he left with? Nothing, and GG! That's a game 7, dude.
That's a game 7.
Ace game hype indeed.
The best Dutch Zerg player pulled it back and is now looking at what I would say many would say unexpected match point.
Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure how unexpected it was. Like,
I think
they both played completely opposite. Like in the first 3 games, uThermal was very dominant, and now suddenly Red is.
I think if you would have asked any player here ahead of the Invitational if Red was going to win, I don't think anyone would have answered yes.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people would have bet on Red beating Harstem.
Harstem and uThermal would be the 2 names you would hear.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's interesting, and I think it has a lot to do with Mark having trouble in the matchup, obviously.
Yeah, he seems, he always mentioned that he's not very comfortable playing the matchup, and now Red seems to be somewhat getting the best of him. I think he just doesn't seem to feel very comfortable playing the late game. Like he didn't seem like he knew what to do with these mutas. He didn't get 3-3 in almost any game so far. I think that's definitely something that's messing him up because Bio with 3-3 is just so much better. If he can get his mind together or maybe do something else.
Honestly, in the scenarios where he's in a spot where he has control and he's attacking, he looks good.
Yeah.
But in any spot where he's kind of forced to play a more passive, reactive style, you can see the lack of confidence in the way he plays.
Yeah.
His indecision in pushing or not pushing, his indecision in expanding and stuff like that, and it's just noticeable.
And Finding Research Station will be the last map in this best of 7. I don't think the game is really favored either way in any matchup, but these players have played before on this matchup this weekend, and I recall Reds taking it pretty clearly.
I don't remember the game on Vani.
Maybe it wasn't against. Maybe it was against Dimmer then. I'm not quite sure.
I think they played Vani. Yeah, they played Vani, but I just don't remember what happened.
Yeah.
Oh no, I remember. The depot was left down, and Lynx got into the main and the natural.
Oh yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final game of the DSCL Open Invitational 2015.
It is the last game of the official DSCL Invitational tournament, so let's scream during the introductions.
Allow me to introduce, in the bottom of Funny Research Station, we have the Red Zerg, representing TeamLiquid, it's Red!
In the top middle position, playing for AT Gaming, it's uThermal! And man, am I sad and glad at the same time we have a game 7.
You rather would have seen uThermal close it out 4-0, right?
I'm not sure if I would have rather seen that, but it makes me more tense that he might lose.
Yeah.
Of course, I would like a 4-3 always because it's more exciting.
Yeah.
But I want him to win still. So.
That's okay.
Okay.
We're all fine with that.
Okay. Nice.
So looking at his build, we once again see uThermal go for that 11 racks, 11 gas, going for the early Reaper attack. I'm not sure if it's the correct decision, but if it's the only build he feels comfortable with on this map, then you can't really fault him for it.
It's good on Vani for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the better maps for the earlier barracks. So I don't dislike it. I think it's good, and I hope he goes Banshee after it. I hope he just plays a standard game. I've disliked every build that kind of varies from the standard from him, just because they didn't seem appropriate for the time. I don't feel like doing a Hellbat push on close positions on that map is appropriate on the Inferno, just because of the way people will often go roaches or will often go Mutas quickly because it's so hard to defend. Other than that, I feel like the other builds he used didn't seem like builds that fit anymore. Going 3cc Reaper cross Deadwing just doesn't feel right.
Well, it's obviously a very macro-oriented build.
Yeah, but then I would say go Marine Expander or CC first into 3cc. Like play it actually greedy. Don't play like the safe 3cc style if you're gonna be on cross Deadwing or on Deadwing in general. That doesn't seem like the map for it.
Alright, I think Red has a pretty good eye for what's going on. He's actually making 6 links this early in the game, very un-Red-like. But I guess he just wants to shut down the Reaper as hard as possible. Reaper now going into the mineral line, but the links are already popping out in order to defend this. uThermal's gonna have to kite quite a bit, especially when his second Reaper pops out, but it's gonna be rough to even get to the mineral line at this point.
Yeah, but the opening wise is really good. You wanna, when you play 11 Rex Reaper, I'm not sure, did he 11 Rex? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you 11 Rex Reaper, playing against gases is great, because you're never going to have to back off with your Hellions and Reapers, ever, because he's never going to have Lings.
Yeah, you're completely right. He's playing gases, so that's very good for uThermal
so
here.
uThermal can keep poking the Queens, keep poking the Lings, and at some point it's very hard to not get overwhelmed by it. It's very tough playing against this build with gases.
Is he overcommitting though? He almost gets pushed into a corner. Now has to fight the queen head, has to pull back the Herd Reaper, and he's going to try and trade damage as much as possible.
Very, very sharp. Always like one hit away from death, and very clean always.
Yeah, like you have to, even in a situation like this, uThermal seems to feel very comfortable doing this.
Yeah.
Once again, he's following this up with 3 CCs. If he gets his Hellion out in Hellion zone in time, he might actually very well be able to deny the third base for red as long as possible.
Yeah, I really like the situation for uThermal. He's doing the Banshee follow-up after 3CC. He's got Reaper Hellion on the way. If he keeps on top of his Reaper Hellion, I'm fairly convinced it's going to be super tough for red to take a timely third base.
It seems like red thinks like,
Oh,
okay.
he doesn't know it's gasless. Oh, that's
Right.
huge. He doesn't know it's gasless.
Yeah,
he's backing off for link speed.
Well, there is.
And
yeah.
the third goes down. That's so, I feel so bad for him.
Yeah, that would have been a huge opportunity for him. Like, he could have denied this
You
for
can't
at
sit
least
so
another 30
long
seconds.
and be so annoying for such a long amount of time with your Reaper Hellion against gasless. And the biggest window is the window where the third base needs to be taken and there's no creep down there. And he just gave that up because he didn't know it was gasless.
Yeah, that's a very good call, and quite a shame of uThermal. Maybe it's a demonstration of his current mindset that he's missing, very obvious things like that. He's now noticing, okay, there's a third. I'm gonna try and do some damage, but this will be, of course, mitigated by the fact that there's just a couple of queens. Meanwhile, red, feeling very comfortable, keeps droning, adds double evolution chamber. What do you think is gonna be his composition of choice? Like, I don't see him going roaches after this.
No, for sure, this seems everything screams lane bane lane. Red's queens are split, and it's allowing uThermal to kind of find an angle to do some damage, but it's not the damage he needed to do against gasless. Now that there are 4 queens, he has enough to battle the Reaper Hellion, and the threat of it has kind of deflated from the composition that uThermal currently has, and but it's so unfortunate.
uThermal currently has a Banshee underway, but without Cloak against gasless, it's really just not that effective. He's going to try and snipe a couple drones, does a nice job, being annoying against Liquid Red, but really he just adds on 7 more drones, he's adding on his upgrades. I feel red is in the better position at this point.
Yeah, this is great for red. This is the dream, man. You want to play gases. You get your upgrades going so insanely quickly, and normally you get punished for it because it's hard to take your third, but in this situation it worked out fine.
Once again, nice dart in and out, kills a couple of drones. I don't see an armory though, so this will not be a Hellbat push at all. He's getting a Viking, he's going to be trying to killing off some Overlords. Still, uThermal is darting around, maybe trying to do a bit of damage. The Banshee comes in, but really against 4 queens, what are you going to do? Like, maybe if he overextends you can snipe some, but there are transfuses in place.
Yeah, this is rough. His upgrades aren't even started yet, and Red's 1-1 is almost finished. The upgrade lead Red's going to have during this game is going to be very, very hard to deal with. The only place where uThermal takes that back is at 3-3. But the difference is so big that 3-3 might start simultaneous for both players if it gets to that point.
Red is already preparing for his next tech switch, getting a Baneling Nest, getting the Spire. Seems to be feeling very comfortable. His map control isn't very, obvious, but he doesn't need map control at this stage of the game. He just needs to defend against the Reaper Hellion until he gets Mutas out, and then he can just bully the Terran around a bit. This Banshee for uThermal really hasn't accomplished anything. It's got 0 kills on it.
Yeah, this is rough. This is not the way you hope for it to go as a Terran player. You're playing a aggressive build, and
wow, he's even taking a 4th. Red feeling so comfortable in his current stage of the game, working on his creep spread, really trying to get the most out of his economic advantage where he can. And in a couple of past games, we've really seen that uThermal doesn't like to go for that long game. He seems to try to close it out in the mid game. I'm not sure if that's going to work.
He's not in position for that. He might lose to the 4th.
Yeah, these Hellions, if they get a good shot off on the Zerglings, then this might turn out very well.
Oh,
but the Zergling surround is so real, and uThermal loses quite a few Hellions for nothing.
Yeah, that was weird, because that's not enough links to beat that many Hellions, but because he didn't move his Hellions, it worked out. Yeah. But I just think he didn't expect Red to go for it, because it wasn't a sufficient number of links.
Yeah, and it still kind of worked out.
Yeah,
also, Red really nicely timed going in until the Hellions had actually fired.
Yeah, that's true.
Because then you have a bit of space to actually get on top of them. uThermal seems to be going for a bit of a push, but I really don't see that working out. Like, the creep spread is already getting really good. He's got 2-2 underway. He's got a couple of Banelings, plenty of Zerglings.
Once this 1-1 finishes, he's going to have a moment where he's equal in upgrade, so that's not a bad point to trade, but it does seem kind of difficult to do anything. He is up a little bit of farming supply.
Yeah, that surprises me too. Like, his macro hasn't been slipping whatsoever, and now he's killing quite a bit of creep. He's actually anticipating this run by here by Red, and has a couple nice Marines in place. He needs to wait for combat shield though. I feel without combat shield, taking an engagement would really be a mistake.
Yeah, 1-1 combat shield. He's gonna have a pretty decent timing to put on some pressure, but it's still difficult when there's so much creep out. And this is all because Red was allowed to play gasless so greedily. There's so much creep, and it's so hard to deal with for Terran when the creep is already this far out.
He's gonna drop on one side and push on the other. This is of course pretty much always a good move. But here we go, he's now transformed his Hellions into Hellbats. The Reapers are still fighting at this point in the game, that's quite interesting. But it doesn't look like he can actually engage into this at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he can at all. And once again, in this scenario, I feel like it's not impossible for Terran to win. I do feel like Zerg is in an advantageous position, but he needs to kind of play for a longer game. And there's already units in position for this.
Wow,
because it's
great
so
defense here by Red.
Yeah.
Trades a Bailing for a couple of Marines, quite fine. Once again, uThermal kind of darts onto creep and goes back again, try to kill a couple of tumors. And 2-2 is about to finish for Red, who will be very soonly maxing out, I feel. At this point, would you think it's wise to actually go in the offensive as a Zerg? Or would you rather wait for a couple different
I personally
composition?
like to do it, but is it a good idea? I don't know. I'm the type of player who likes to attack, so sometimes I take decisions that are not necessarily ultimately the correct ones.
uThermal now has 2 turrets up in the third, with a whole lot of Muse actually going for this. This could actually trigger the same response we saw in the previous game, where uThermal's actually going to push. He's going to keep pushing with his Hellbats and Marines down the ramp, pre-splitting a bit with his Reapers. The Mutas actually dart out after the reinforcements from uThermal chased him away, but I'm not sure if fighting here is really that good of an option, and he seems to retreat once again.
The Mutas did return, but I see someone by having a lot of SCVs go down.
10 SCVs died there, 2 more.
10 is not too bad, that's like acceptable, but it's still like very tough when you're not in a good spot. And I really hope he makes a 4th base on 3-3. Like I feel like attacking into the Zerg right now is just meaningless. And
I feel uThermal needs to rely on his late game and his control at this point. Like he's about to catch up in upgrades to Red, who still hasn't started his hive. He's just starting his infestation pit. So there definitely is a good chance. However, we have a big counterattack once again by Red, going towards the third, where the depot wall is just finished. There's not that many reinforcements here for uThermal actually in order to actually chase these.
This is never good. You don't want to hurry up your push as Terran. You want to be like timely with it. Split your army properly.
He's just gonna
go onto creep is always bad, and this might be so hard for uThermal to deal. And so many Banelings.
The pre-split is still quite good though. He's currently attacking the 4th base, but he's lost his own 3rd to the Lynx and Mutas. He's setting up the defensive walls, and here we go. The engagement starts. So many Banelings rolling through. uThermal losing a lot of units, but so is Red. But he's got so much more stuff.
Everything is getting shredded, and I think this is the moment where Red actually wins the DSCL Invitational. I don't see how uThermal gets back from this. He's got no 3rd base left.
Red completely crushes the attack here by uThermal. He moves down the ramp in order to try and resecure his 3rd, but he doesn't have a 3rd command center. Red really crushed uThermal in his last game and really shown his superiority in this playstyle, in this late game style of DVZ.
And what a comeback once again. Again, down 0-2 in the series and pulls it back. It's incredible, and he's playing very well. Like he's playing better than I've seen him play before. And
we see at the ramp a nice Ling run by. He gets on top of the depots. What does uThermal do? Well, he's got a couple of Hellbats, so those deal with that nicely. We have the 4th, once again, will be attacked here by this small force of uThermal. Is it really enough? I don't think so. We have a 60 supply difference in army. So many Banelings with a lot of Mutas just going to go pounce onto this floor, doing a lot of damage. But is it enough? It doesn't look like it's so many Banelings rolling through, killing all the Marines, killing the floor at this point.
Everything is getting shredded.
Everything's getting destroyed. And GG, well played.
GG. I think we're gonna have an interview with
We're gonna
Red. Man, he doesn't look. Oh, he looks like he smirked a bit.
He needs to shake a couple of hands, and you know, he has every right to be happy winning this tournament. Coming back like being not one of the favorites in the Dutch scene for a while, he's definitely resecured his foothold, I see. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Liquid Red. Your winner of the DSCL Open 2015. Once again, people, give him another round of applause. Red, congratulations. How does it feel to be back on top?
Very unexpected. I'm very shocked. I'm still shocked. I can't believe that I actually won this tournament.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Well, it was well deserved, I feel. Like, uThermal was kind of complaining about his luck loss to TVC, but still, you know, going up 3-1 in the best of 7, you know, he has to be good at something, right?
Yeah, he played pretty well, I thought, much better than yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed really good with the Marauder Mayan Thor combination. It took a few games for me to figure out how to play against it. So I think you could see the progress in my play.
Yeah, pretty much. Lots of banelings. And of course the Muta harass was also, like, it really looked like to me you could get in, like, inside his mind and just attack him with mutas in places he didn't expect. And it was just so hard for him to deal with.
Yeah, the mutas are super good, ZVT. If you just get into the main base or the one time and they're out of position, they pretty much have to attack, and then banelings are super good. So I think that's exactly what happened, especially the last 2 games.
Yeah.
And he probably hates mutalisks very much.
We all do, don't worry.
I can imagine. Did you at some point give up in the series, or were you always thinking about winning? Like, how mindset-wise did you go through the series?
It was really painful to lose Overgrowth.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can imagine. That's
Because,
what I said as well.
I stopped the 2-racks, and I don't know, I just didn't play as well as I did in the last games. So I was really banking on winning that one, and then Catalina, the Roach Bane, didn't work out at all. Like, just completely got shut down. So at that point, I was like, this might be a little bit tough, especially with Infernal Pools.
All right.
But then the positions were really nice for the Muta Speedbane, like Life did in IAM. So I got a bit lucky with those positions.
All right, thank you for a short interview. I think we're going to go to Van Kaspel for now. Maybe do a bit of a prize ceremony, perhaps. All right, well, let's go into that. And thank you, Red. Congratulations once again. I think you have something.
Congratulations.
All right, everybody. Yeah, that is me. We're going to do the prize ceremony right away, right in front of this lovely audience that's been with us for most of the weekend. So, audience, thank you very much for showing up. It's been an amazing time. All right. And I think we have Harstem here. There's also Liquid Red, of course. I see some of the other players. I think uThermal's outside blowing off some steam. He must be feeling pretty disappointed about losing that series. But we're going to do the prize ceremony because we got numbers 3 and 1 right here. So I'm going to start with Harstem here. Harstem, how about you step forward? There we go. Third place for Harstem, of course. That comes with a €100 prize check and also this Octane gaming set from Cooler Master. Congratulations. And I think uThermal's still outside blowing all that steam off, so we're going to go straight into number 1, which is no one less than Liquid Red. Congratulations. With a Nova Touch keyboard with that. It's apparently the fastest keyboard on the market. All right. Thank you all very much, everybody right here and people watching the stream. Do stay tuned because after this prize ceremony, we'll have a random free-for-all with 8 players there. I'm going to try casting it for a little bit. If anyone here wants to join the free-for-all or maybe wants to join the cast, just let me know and we'll get right into that. So stay tuned for a little bit. We're going to have some fun. And thanks for watching DSCL Invitational.